Okay, I'm back with another poem here. It is. Sorry. I tried to keep the book straight, but that's awkward for writing for me. So I'm just gonna angle it. January 9th? It is the 9th today, isn't it? Yes, it is the 9th. Tomorrow's the 10th. Okay. So let's get into it. I'm reading Irises by Lee Young Lee. Yeah, it's just this one page. So let's get into it. Okay. What do I have to say overall about this poem? I'm not I'm not 100% sure. As I'm just doing these on the flies. I think I need to look more into the number 5 and like the significance of 5. And what that means. I like the specificity of this. In the night, in the wind, at the edge of the rain. And I like this phrase. That's why I underlined it, the edge of the rain. I just think that's very, like, it's very beautiful. Should write that. Find 5 irises and call them lovely, as if a woman once lay by them a while, then woke, rose, went. The memory of hair lingers on their sweet tongues. And this action that we have happening here, there's not always action happening in poetry, but we do have this woman laying for a while and waking up, rising, and going. I'm now just thinking, the poem I'm thinking about is Shelley, and I think it's a violet, not an iris, that he was comparing to a woman. I thought that might have been a reference, but I believe it's violet, not irises, that he talks about. Okay. Anywho, let's continue on. I'd like to tear these petals with my teeth. So we have these 2 mentionings of things that happen in the mouth. And poetry, for me, most poetry, I should say. There's some poetry that you can't read that is very much about a visual thing, but most poetry to me is about rhythm and about saying it out loud, with your mouth, with your tongue and your teeth. I'd like to investigate these hairy selves, their beauty and indifference. And I wrote to who instead of to what, because I think they're indifferent to him. They hold their breath all their lives and open. Initially when I read that, I thought the repetition was about joy. But now, reading it out loud and saying those words, open, I think it's more like and reading the rest of the poem too. I think it's more sad, like he's saying it, that it's not for him, these irises and this woman. And he says, as he says in the next phrase, we are not lovers, not brother and sister, so friends or strangers, though we drift hand in hand through a hall, thrilling and burning as thought and desire expire. And over this dream of life, this life of sleep, we wake and dine, violet becoming blue, growing black, all that an iris ever prays when it prays to be. And I just kept reading because the rhythm in this section just keeps going, and that's helped by the alliteration and the rhyme. Even though there's not a lot, and the repetition of life, this ing, move/create rhythm. So I really like this part too, where it continues. As thought and desire expire, it's so playful. Desire expire. The way your tongue moves along that. I point out the contradiction between we wake and dying, because generally those 2 are not associated together. Dying is usually associated with sleep and dreaming, whereas waking up is associated more with life. And then I pointed out at the end that all an iris wants to be is indifferent to the world around it. It just wants to be. It just wants to exist. And it didn't ask to exist, much like people. We We try to find meaning and everything in poetry and in life when all we have to do is be. You know, that's all that's expected of us, is to just exist. That's all that's wanted of us in the universe. At least in my philosophy. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Irises by Li-Young Lee. Let me know your own thoughts, and thank you for watching.